Hello everyone. So today what I'll be doing is actually completing the last 1/4 of my driveway under the carports. If you missed the first part, the first 3/4, I'll have the link right here in the corner. That way you can click onto and you can see what I've done. With the special help of Greg Van Com. He gave me the idea of actually placing all these driveway in sections because I'm unable to do it all in one shot, as well as I wasn't going to get a concrete truck to do that. I kind of want to do this project on my own. Now, if you remember, I stopped right before the winter season, so I was able to park the car through there underneath the carport for the snow, and I still have the rebar sticking out. Okay, so that's what I'm going to connect to the other part, or the last part of this. Okay, so before I continue, I have a special guest here. His name is Greg from Into the Lens. Again, his link is right on top of your screen, the right hand side of your screen. And what's the word, Greg?
Sorry, AJ. No sponsors just yet. You'll get there. Keep trying.
All right, well, there you have it. Again, check out his webpage, his channel on YouTube. It's on the top right-hand corner, and let's continue. So on that part over there, you can tell where I kind of offset it from the initial, the first and third part of the concrete slab. And I was hoping to follow that pattern on over this side, but unfortunately, I didn't think ahead of time. And if you can follow it, that section, if you come down, it's like kind of right in between. It's more on this part of the rebar. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring it on over here. Now, I thought about drilling into this slab and, sticking a rebar in there, but and anchoring it in. But I know I put the rebar maybe about 3 or 4 inches away from the crease. So rather than just having these two over here attached to this part of that concrete, I'm actually I want it to be more bonded. So I'm actually going to include this third one and kind of split it right down the middle. So this is going to be actually 1/3. Likewise, it's going to be the same thing on that side. I'm going to include those 3 rebar and then put section right down there. So when you look at it, it's going to be kind of in thirds. It's not going to follow, again, that same pattern where you saw the little section, a larger section, and this little section over there. I did come across some tree roots when I was trying to flatten out the ground over here, and it's mainly because of these pine trees from my neighbors. So I really had to dig them out and use a sawzall. I didn't really get video for that, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. Just expose the root, sawzall a lot of it, which I did, and then start tampering everything down. Now I'm just using some Loctite glue to butt up the expansion joints against the house, and then cutting 2x6 wood to create all the forms. There I am with the rebar, making sure everything's tied down, and then with those forms, drilling holes and notching each and every one. Thereafter, just tamping everything down with my tamper. I didn't use the compactor at this point. Okay, so I have the crushed gravel on top of larger gravel compacted. Will be the first part, and then I'm going to do the opposing side, which I'm still have to prepare. So everything, all of this has been compacted. All I have to do now afterwards is to wet everything before I drop the concrete. So now I'm just mixing 80-pound bags of concrete, one at a time. So this slab has been curing for the last 4 days or so. And I did have to make a notch on each one because as I attach it on over, there's no way for me to actually pop it out without untying the rebar. So there is notches, so I just have to loosen it and just slide it upwards. There is a post right behind this thing and the fence, and the concrete that the workers had put is actually like right around here. So I don't want to put the slab over it in the event that you have to replace this post without damaging the slab, just to break it free. Okay, so the post is going to last about a good 20 years or so, so I may or may not be at this house at that point in time, but in the event it happens, at least it's easy for the next person. Okay, so the same thing also applies to this side. As you can tell, I already started cutting a piece of wood, so it's going to come out. It's going to butt against this, come around, and there is concrete. You can tell where it is. So this is actually going to come out over that slab. I'm sorry, this concrete foundation, and go through the fence. Now, as I open the door, which is kind of hard because there's rebar, but let's see here. So there is the post, and it's going to be on actually both sides. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay, so that's it right there. And it's going to come out to at least a good foot outside of it. So that way, if you need to open the door, it wouldn't be any problems. I'm also going to put a wheel on this gate, but they just have to cut alongside about maybe, so it's floating above the slab, at least a couple inches or maybe an inch and a half or so. So now I'm just removing the gate doors one at a time. They're very heavy to move, and that's what it looks like. So I can work on those set of concrete slabs. Still don't have a grinder, but use the hacksaw, and that's what you see so far after it's completed towards the evening. Thereafter, just place some towels over it about 24 hours later and just water it down for hydration and place a tarp over it. So here is an overview of what I'm doing. Oh, shit. Don't worry, not all that concrete came out of that bag. I still had half remaining in there. And then I just started to mix them. As it started to settle, I added the remaining half bag and mixed some more to make sure it was more of a peanut butter consistency. Thereafter, I started shoveling in all the concrete and did one bag at a time. Here is the final slab, and after edging and smoothing everything out, I came back 3 hours later and broomed it to have a nice finish, and then re-edged again. And after waiting a few hours, finally placed the towel on top and watered it to keep it hydrated. So I am complete with the driveway. I started it towards the end of August and finished yesterday. So let's take a look and see what I've done so far. So you can tell that 3/4 of the driveway was completed. The majority of it was under the carport, and I was able to park a car, at least for the meantime, last year. This year, I had a few things going on, and so there was a bit of a delay, but I wanted to try to complete it before the next winter season started. So I had started then and completed. So it should take about another month or so for it to finally cure, but I'm really happy. It was a lot of work. I did make some modifications on the driveway, and I didn't plan ahead, and that was my problem. I had to readjust the rebar and recount how many bags I needed, although I did have a couple pallets delivered. What you see back there with the last 3 slabs, or the last 1/4 slabs, I had to split the 2 long ones in half because I felt it was too long. It was about 9 feet by 5 feet, and I was concerned that it might crack. So rather than just using one of those tools to kind of weaken the concrete down the middle, I just ended up pouring individual slabs for it. That way, if it does crack, which is guaranteed for any concrete, that it won't continue going on to the next slab. Okay. You can also tell that there's a little hole that's sticking out from the ground, and that's really for the gate. There's a little drop bar, so it locks the gate down so it won't open up in any way. I did raise it up a little bit, because that end of the driveway, it's slanted into their backyard. So I didn't want water flow to fall into that little hole and then just erode the gravel and the dirt from below. In about a month or so, what I'll be doing is placing the sealer, because I do have to wait for it to cure, 28 days, maybe a little bit longer, just because you know, it's a little bit cooler. We're between the 50s and 70s, mainly between 50s and 60s right now. And then using a joint sealer so the water doesn't seep in, because you have to keep in mind there is rebar all throughout the slabs, and don't want those things to rust either. So best way is to seal the driveway and seal the joints as well. So again, special thanks for Greg Van Com, or gregvan.com, who has given me the idea of doing this project on my own. I thought it was a big challenge, but it was something I couldn't pass off. Other people to thank out there on YouTube land is Steve from Creating Concrete, and also Odell Complete Concrete. I thought they were pretty informative with their stuff that they do. So I hope you were able to find this information useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks. All right, bye-bye.